Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Piofiore 1926, continuing Henry's route. Bird, can you? Thank you. Sorry, Bird is with me. Yeah, so we're continuing Henry's route, where we just had a lovely conversation about who is gonna pork me for the good of Burlone. This is an interesting. God, it's hilarious. This just gets funnier. Shit just gets wackier going on in this route. Like, I kind of feel like whoever wrote Henry's route was a little drunk when they came up with the plot, like the whole plot purpose and everything, and some of these like side conversations. But like, I'm here for it because this is hilarious. We're in the midst of like the church is trying to kill me and Teo's probably back there and then the Phantom and all this stuff. And meanwhile, we're having these conversations about like, you should seduce Henry. Yeah, throw it at him, girl. And then like, now it's like, oh, so like it didn't work when she did it. I mean, I don't know. I'd take one for the team. And then like, good God. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it. It's hilarious. A little awkward. And it is kind of weird when you think about it, like, wait, so then the only reason Henry's gonna do anything is because he has to? I don't know how that's gonna feel, but, I mean, so there's that top layer of that, like, the only reason Henry's gonna touch me, probably, and do this is because he has to, or someone else has to. He's gonna take one for the team, and, like, that doesn't make you feel really good about it. And it also makes it sad because you think about it like she's going to be like, oh, okay, because it's Henry and I love him, but I know he's only having sex with me out of obligation. And, well, that's depressing. Okay. You know. So it's like kind of sad and like bittersweet. You know, you're like, oh, it's tainted a little. But underneath, we know that Henry is in love with us, and otherwise he'd be like, all right, well, whoever she wants to sleep with is her business, not mine, if he didn't actually care. You know what I mean? He wouldn't care who I decided to sleep with. I mean, we haven't had that conversation with him, but I just imagine that's how it's going to go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, underneath, he probably like we know he loves us and everything, but he's got whatever this hang up is that he's dirty and he can't touch us and he doesn't deserve these good things and all that stuff, and he's got this like block in his brain, this wall completely built around him. And if this is the way the game decided, like, okay, that's the way he's gonna get past that, not finally just like maybe you almost die or something and then he just realizes he's in love with you and just throws everything. I mean, because like they could have done that. But in a way, if you think about it, you're like, I don't know, that feels a little like cheap and overused. Okay, you almost died and I just have to admit I fought. Like, hello, how many times, like, you know that looming death is around the corner for me and you're trying to protect me. So like, you know what I mean? But like, it's going to take that near stabbing or something to make him like admit he's in love with me. Like, okay, but I feel like that's been done a bazillion times before. I'm not necessarily sure I've ever seen this done before where it's like, well, to get over my hang-ups and finally admit I love her, I have to have sex with her for the sake of the city. So I guess I'll do it, and then I realize, like, no, actually, this is totally fine. I do love her. She didn't burst into flames when she touched me, and... Alright, cool, let's take down those walls. You know what I mean? Never seen it done this way before. So, like, okay, it's a little awkward, but sure, whatever, as long as... Look. Whatever it takes to get Henry in the sack is, I guess, what it takes to get Henry in the sack, and that's fine. Even if it's all of our friends rallying around volunteering as tribute to dethrone me as the Key Maiden. But, alright. Anyway. So this is going to be fun. He's probably going to tell us, and do you think we're going to, like, get it in this part? Or, like, we're going to think about it and get... I mean, this is chapter 5. We're still only at the beginning. We haven't had any side stories. We only had one choice. So, like, I don't know how many options are in chapter 5, because, like, I have the guide scrolled so that we only see the one that we already made. So I don't really know. We haven't had Meanwhile stories. We haven't had other choices. So I don't know how long chapter 5 is going to be, but, like, I kind of figure we should be getting to chapter 6 in this part, but maybe not. I don't know. Especially after 3 hours of talking about what happened in the last part. But I can't get over it! Like, good God, some of the conversations in this route are hilarious. Anyway, we were in the middle of a pleasant conversation when Henry came in. Everybody else was having a pleasant conversation. Are you all finished? Yes. His somewhat awkward reply made me feel uncomfortable. Buonasera, signor! Elena met him with a wide smile as she stood up from her chair. Probably butchered that so badly. I heard that you two have been living together. It's such a relief to see you're both well. It may be strange of me to ask this, but please continue to take care of her. Elena! It's she who's been taking care of me. Henry replied calmly, but the words still took me by surprise. He's acting strange. Yeah! Especially if he tries to seduce you tonight. That would be amazing. I couldn't quite put my finger on why. Well, backstory. Okay, well now we got a meanwhile story, so there you go. After Henry left the church, Emilio also took his leave. Thanks for your help, Gilbert. Yeah, I broke my own heart saying all those things. She's perfect inside and out. Looking at his bitter smile, I can understand how he felt. He seems to be cavalier about his own life, but he'll become emotional when she's involved. I've seen the same things happen before. Last year I took a jab at him and received a surprising response. Poor thing. Planning on sacrificing her for your own benefit, are you? No! I would never sacrifice her for such a thing! I can understand he's hesitant about it because she's so important to him. The problem is, what will we do if Lambert refuses to act? Oh dear God, and you have Yang after Dante says that, and Yang's gonna say something wildly inappropriate. Again, they're having this conversation and none of us are, oh my God. I'll have someone else take care of it. Was I not clear about that earlier? Don't tell me you were actually serious, Yang. Of course I was. You mean the rest of you weren't? I know you were just taunting Henry, but like, if I said, okay, I want Gil to dethrone me, and he'd be like, alright. I would pick Oliver. We'd all be standing there, alright, fine. Who do you pick? Oliver. Huh? Yeah. Wow. I've been thinking this for a while, but you really are an idiot, aren't you? Yang is not afraid of anyone. I couldn't quite put my finger on why. He looked pale, so perhaps he was tired. They must have been discussing something very grave. He looks pale. They had to be talking about something terrifying, like very grave and dire. Like, they were talking about the fact that they're trying to goad him into sleeping with you. That's just so wrong and mean, and I hurt. I feel so bad for us right now. God damn it. After I said goodbye to everyone at the church, Henry took my hand and began walking. What's happened? He seemed more deep in thought than ever. After walking a long way in silence, we arrived back at the hotel. I love the fact that Nicholas was like, well, we're just gonna have to knock her off her peg as the key maiden. It's just, because otherwise Dante's in danger, so gonna need you to go after that, son. Let's just go. Well, good night, Henry. Yes, good night. After a short exchange, I returned to my room. You think maybe you should maybe wait for tomorrow, but you think you should tell me about what you discussed? I thought back to the meeting as I changed into my negligee and got ready for bed. About mustard gas, about the church, and all the troubles Henry has had to endure. Is he gonna sneak into her room? I'm kind of here for that. His sister's stolen remains, Sebastiano Gallier himself. Oh, he had to bring up the sister's stolen remains, because for a brief moment in time, I forgot about the skull eyeball socket licking! Oh, there was a brief 24-hour period of time where I forgot about that. God damn it! I was trying very hard to not see it in my mind. And yet, And yet, here we are. He's had such a hard time. If only I could lessen that burden for him. Pondering. He's pondering. So I say, like, we don't have any choices. Meanwhile, there's nothing, and now they're all just rolling in. I sat back in my chair and sighed. I have a headache. It was an exhausting night. I knew better than to take away her eligibility, because it was supposed to protect her. She could seek asylum more easily as the key maiden than as the lover of some man. And that was what I thought. But now that very eligibility is threatening her. After all I'd done, I couldn't touch her with these hands. See, this is like his whole, like, he's got this whole freaking mental block. It's like, yes, you can. You're fine. Have you seen what everybody else in this game has done? Just saying. How can I protect her? How can I ensure she comes to no harm? If only I could lessen that burden for him. I climbed into bed, hugged my pillow tightly, and shut my eyes. I need to give up on my feelings for him. Right when she's going to be like, I can't think about him anymore. Yeah, it'll be fine. That's when he's going to pounce, and it's going to be so confusing. The next morning, we met again in the main room. Good morning, Henry. Good morning. Were you able to sleep well? Yes. He looked much calmer than yesterday. I still didn't know what was on his mind. It had been bothering me all night, so I asked with a glimmer of hope that he might answer. What did you talk about yesterday after I left? That's going to be an awkward conversation. I don't know if he's prepared for it. Henry looked down in silence. It seemed it was something he was unwilling to discuss, so I quickly tried to change the subject. Oh, never mind. Do you have anything planned for today? No, nothing in particular. We may need to wait things out for a while. I see. So we shouldn't be going out until things are safer. Oh, well, the church may be after you. The Foul Zone has no intention on following their orders. We must be vigilant as far as Sebastiano's concerned, but that's always been the case. And we're going to hole up in here for a couple of days. And then everyone else is going to be like, have you seen either one of them? Like, oh, so Henry went to Pound Town and they're just like locked up in the hotel in their little love thing, their love nest, just rolling around in those sheets, making them stanky, right? No, not at all. We're just sitting here staring at each other. I'm playing solitaire. He's over there like staring at the phone like, please God. For a hot second, I was going to be like working on the computer. Yeah, that didn't exist in 1926. Put your glasses on, Henry. At least give me something to look at. Going out on occasion should be fine. I wouldn't want them to think we're holed up in here having a love affair, which is exactly what we'd be doing. Yeah. Then, I was a little hesitant to put it into words, but I tried to be brave. If you don't mind, could we go out today? And go out? Where? Anywhere. Anywhere's fine. I'd like to go on a date with you. Girl! I mean, the Stones, again, but it's like, I need to forget about my feelings for Henry. Can we go out on a date? Girl, you were manipulating things! I managed to say what I wanted and waited in the silence that followed. I don't want to cause him any more trouble. I want to try and forget about him. That was why I wanted to ask for the last time. I prayed that he wouldn't hear my pounding heart. As long as we stay out of danger. Thank you, Henry. I'm so happy. Seeing my excited reaction, Henry smiled a little. The same troubled smile as always. It's just really sad that he, loves us so goddamn much, but just feels like he's too dirty to touch us. And we're just like, I don't care about that. You know that, right? Like, I absolutely adore you. And he's like, no, I'm filthy. I just want to slap him and tell him to just get over it. The man needs a therapist, to be fair. But, slapping him and telling him to get over it's not going to work. He needs therapy. But we're in an Otome game, so the logic is slap him, tell him to get over it, and everything will be fine. Or have your friends goad him into sleeping with you, and then he'll realize that it's fine, and then all the walls will come crumbling down. So, whatever. That's what goes in lieu of therapy in otome games. Or anime. Same. Unless it's an anime about therapy. Is there one of those? There probably is. The sky was so pretty today. It's so nice out. Or I was literally like, there's probably a game about therapy, but then you're probably bang your therapist. And then it just made me think of Persona 5 Royal when they added Maruki, and like, if I could date Maruki, I absolutely would have banged my therapist in that game. But they're cowards and they won't let me date Yusuke, so there was no way I was going to be able to date my therapist. I could bang my teacher, but not my therapist. I'm just saying, I don't think that's fair. Cowards. On a nice little love triangle with Yusuke and Maruki. Never gonna let it go! Once I allowed myself to enjoy the day, even the smallest things brought a smile to my face. I want to hold hands. Spacey. Henry must have noticed my lingering gaze. He extended his hand out to me. I do think it's adorable and like romantic and sweet that like we just hold hands and he's just like refuses to touch us otherwise, but he will do this. You know what I mean? Thank you. It'd be one thing, too, if, like, we were in love with each other. I mean, I kind of don't hate where this is going. I think it's kind of funny. But it would also have been another thing they could have gone, like, okay, we are in love with each other, and he has admitted it, but he doesn't want to touch us because he just thinks he's not worthy, and he can't bring himself to kiss us or any of that. We're just trying to work through that, like, I love him and I need more, but he's not ready to give me that. Like, you know what I mean? So you have to learn to be patient and deal with the fact that, like, you want more out of him, but he's not ready to give that. But you're just trying to be patient and understanding. I mean, we're kind of doing that here, but it's like, he does not love me, and I am trying to not, but she's kind of guilting him into stuff sometimes, which, I mean, again, I'm trying not to be disturbed about, but it does bother me. It's like, I want to go on a date. It's like, girl, you just said you want to forget about him, and it's a little, part of it is like, good. Keep guilting him. Then he will admit he loves you. But at the same time, it's a little manipulative and kind of gross when she's like, I want to go on a date, when she thinks he has no interest in me, but I want to make him feel bad, and I want him to go on a date with me, and I want him to hold hands with me, even though I know he hates it. And, like, you're trying to push things with him. And it's not a gentle pushing, like, you know, okay, yeah, you're in love with me, we're happy, and like, okay, let's hold hands. Okay, cool, let's try to keep pushing the line to make him more comfortable with things as a way to help him pass this. No, you're guilting him into doing things that you want. So, like, but it's only every once in a while there's moments where you're like, I don't know about this. It makes me feel a little gross the way we're manipulating him. You know? But we know, as the player, that he's in love with us, so it's like they're saying, like, it's okay, but it's kind of not okay. Like, I don't know. It could just be me today. It really is. Because, like, that conversation we had in the last part was freaking hilarious. Slightly inappropriate for you to be talking about me and my body and the things that have to be done to me behind my back. But also, still funny. That whole conversation and the whole, like, pushing Henry thing. But again, with them, with all the other guys trying to push Henry, it would feel gross. Like, don't push him to do something he's not comfortable with. But they're all like, you are clearly in love with her? Holy shit, just admit it. You know what I mean? So they're seeing something that we don't. So us manipulating him into holding our hand and going out on dates and doing all this stuff is a little gross. I'm not saying, like, I have a problem with this route at all, or like, oh, we're so disgusting and despicable. But it just kind of struck me when she was like, I want to go on a date with you. And I'm like, there's a little bit of that's pathetic because you know he's not in love with you and you told yourself you need to get over him, but you're still going to guilt him in going on a date with you. That's not getting over him. But then it kind of like settled in and it was more like, well, now you're manipulating him into dating you, which is just kind of gross. You know? But that's a side thought. It's not really, like, it's not how I feel about this route as a whole. It's just there's those little moments where you're like, questionable, you know? But it doesn't stop my enjoyment of the route, and I'm not complaining about the route, and I'm not saying that, oh my god, we're a horrible person. It's just, I feel like they could have maybe handled it a little bit differently, but, like, I don't have any good suggestions on that, and, like, I don't necessarily, for the scheme of the overarching entire plot, the entire route, everything that we're seeing, mind her being a little manipulative like that, because we know that Henry's in love with us, and he just needs these little pushes, and then eventually it'll be fine. But from her perspective, not knowing is a little shady. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I don't know why that thought just occurred to me. It could, like I said, it could just be like the way my brain is working today, being like, this is a little gross in a way. Like, I want to hold his hand and like, okay, now we're holding hands. Ha ha ha. You're kind of manipulating him and it's kind of weird. But I don't hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel a little, like, uncomfortable about it, but not, it's not even that, you know what I mean? Like, I hope you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not uncomfortable, like, ew, we're gross, but it's like a little thing that just kind of pops up and you're like, question mark. It's a little awkward and weird and strange, and we're being a little manipulative. But anyway, back into the route, we're having a great time. Woohoo, we're making him hold our hands. You know, because we know that he's in love with us, so that makes it okay, but it really doesn't make it okay. But again, in the Otome logic, makes it totally okay. Like, I don't know. I still love this route, and I still love everything, and sometimes I'm okay, but I feel like we have these moments, and I'm like, and I don't know why it just occurred to me. Like, it literally was just like, it's a little gross how we manipulate him into taking us on dates when he doesn't want to. And then we're like, I mean, it's okay, and it's like, I don't think she's trying to be like that, but it just comes across that way, and it's just weird. But anyway. I'm fine with it, because we know he's in love with us, and I'm not complaining. I'm not saying we're a bad person or anything like that, because she's not trying, like, I'll manipulate him into loving me. You know what I mean? She's just asking for what she wants, and he could easily be like, yeah, nah. But he's going along with it, which feels a little guilty, like he's doing it out of guilt, but like, whatever. Whatever. He returned my smile and continued on as usual. I mean, she does have moments where she's like, I know that this is kind of manipulative, and she just does it anyway, which I don't hate her for, because you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the little wallflowers who are like, oh, I'm just going to blush in the corner, and she has her awkward little moments, legit, because some of the shit that happens in this is so awkward, so I can understand why you're blushing. But, like, she's got some more stones, you know, than I think the typical dainty, perfect little wallflowers in most games. Most Otome games, like, oh, we're sweet and innocent and naive and we blush all the time, and it's like we kind of have the personality of sometimes like a wet sock. You know, to be fair, because it's not made, like, I get it. Sometimes they're irritating and they're too stupid sometimes. She's like not really like that. She's got some sass. She's got way more in this than I think she has in other routes. And, like, this is slightly manipulative. So I'm kind of here for it because, again, this is just a lot more fire, I feel like, in her personality. The other one, she's been very sweet, innocent church mouse because, again, she was raised to be a sweet, innocent. So it makes sense. Totally makes sense. I'm not making fun of her, you know? But this one, she's got a little more like, nah, I burned that church mouse. It got a little spark in here. That's a little, like, you're like, a little devious, girl. Like, you've got stones to tell Henry what you want. Like, good. You know? I don't know. I like it. Anyway, we walked without deciding where we were going and soon happened upon the old casino. The last time we were here was the night we returned to Berlone, but now I could see the rubble in the light of day. It's funny that in a year they haven't done anything about it. I feel like that's a hazard. I mean, I could understand them, like, not rebuilding it, but don't you think they should have cleaned up some of the rubble? Like, that's... somebody could get hurt. The memory of running into the burning casino felt like a distant dream. Henry, do you remember? This was the first place where you and I spoke to each other. Of course I do. I'll never forget. I wasn't planning back then for us to be so deeply involved. Yeah, well, everybody wants us to be really deeply involved, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my god. He was looking at the burned-down casino and spoke with regret. I didn't want you to be involved, and this place housed nothing but corrupted intentions, including my own vengeance. Indeed, someone like yourself would not take interest in such a hellhole. After all, no
No one ever wins what truly matters.
I can't believe that was only half a year ago. Feels like we've been together much longer. It's only been... Oh god, I thought it's been like a year. It's only been 6 months? Well, I mean, the years changed, but like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe. Okay, wow. Alright. Okay! I don't know. What is time?
In 84 years we've been walking around.
As we approached the main streets of Arca, he looked at me.
May I ask you a question?
What is it?
You said that you didn't mind where we went as long as it was a date.
Yes. When I nodded, he asked in a gentle voice.
I was wondering what your idea of a date was. Is there anything that's essential to you?
Yeah, it's the sex after the date. She would never say that, but I kind of wish. So good. Well, I don't know, after a date you have to get a kiss, so. Ha! Manipulated you into that one! Which would feel a little gross, but I'm okay with it, because, like, you know, the only way we're going to knock these walls down that he's built up. You mean, I knew he could probably see right through me, so I didn't waste effort trying to hide anything. There isn't anything in particular. I've only ever been on a date once, the first time you asked me out. Sister Sophia often told me to be careful of men's intentions. And there was no one else close to me.
And yet, you accepted my offer.
You were different from anyone else I had met before. Even though I had little experience, I could still sense when someone had ill intentions. I thought you were a very peculiar person, but I didn't feel anything malicious from you. And yet, you're friends with the Mafia. I mean, I guess because they didn't have any ill intentions toward us, basically.
I wonder. Perhaps you would have been better off with another man.
I have been better off with quite a lot of men, honestly, in our Otome travels, but also in this game. And I kind of wish I would be better off with a bunch of men if the game would let me have a harem. How many times do I have to say this, old man Otome? Give me my man harem. We're all looking forward to it. I would not be able to handle that. There would be a game that we'd go through and it would have like inappropriate scenes that I had to read with all the... And I would literally combust. We know I can't read those things. I'm all talk, no walk, okay?
I ended up dragging you into a situation much more dangerous.
That may be, but I refuse to believe that anyone could have been better than Henry. Damn, girl. Feisty. I changed the subject without voicing that thought. I wish you should have said it. She's like, I don't think there would have been anyone better than you. But I still remember it vividly, and then just when he's like, what? Shocked, creaky turning to. I still remember it vividly.
If you don't mind. May I come see you tomorrow? Or perhaps we might take a walk to better get to know one another. And that is again, if you don't mind.
I like how the second line he said was question mark, question mark, question mark, as if we didn't already have Henry on here. You seemed sort of embarrassed when you asked me out, but were you only acting? I haven't seen you that way ever since.
I suppose I certainly approached you with the intention of acting, but... And now I'm not so sure.
Part of me burned with curiosity to know what he meant by that. Another part was too afraid of getting my hopes up only to be let down again.
We were only able to go for a walk that morning, but we have more time today. Now let's do something a little more fitting. Well, we can have something to eat or go shopping.
At Henry's suggestion, I said, "Get in, loser! We're going shopping!" No, I feel like that's very, like, that could be cute, but I feel like the right thing to do, especially this is technically our second date, would be, like, to go get something to eat. You know, shopping is more like, for later, when we've been together for a while, and then I'll make you buy me shit. But, like, now, this is about the both of us. The both of us can go eat. Shopping is like, you buy me things! Because I don't have money to buy you things. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's something to eat. Let's go have something to eat. Good for me. Now that you mention it, I am a bit hungry. Let's have something to eat.
Understood. He smiled, still holding my hand, and began walking toward the plaza. A cornetto would be perfect, but I can't decide which kind. The plain ones were delicious, but I saw my eye wandering to the chocolate one with walnuts. I get the whipped cream or the apricot jam, or the one with raspberry sauce. Literally me if there are desserts. Which one do I want? They're too big for me to get them all. When I had narrowed it down to cream and raspberry, Henry called the waiter over. A cafe latte and an espresso. Also 2 cornetti. One with cream, one with raspberry. How did you know, Henry? Those were the 2 I was deciding between. I could tell from your eyes on the menu. You went back to the same items over and over. If it's a difficult decision, why not try them both first, and then enjoy the one you prefer?
But the leftovers...
I'll have whatever you don't finish.
You're gonna eat? Oh my god, we've made progress with the man. Of course, I was grateful for Henry's kindness, but I also felt a bit guilty. Thank you, but wouldn't you enjoy having one that you chose yourself?
It doesn't matter much to me. I won't die from having it or not having it.
There was one thing we hadn't discussed much either here or in France, and that was the type of food he liked. Or the fact that he doesn't eat. I mean, that's not true, he does sometimes, but like, Henry, don't you have any favorite dishes? Food, drinks, anything? I wondered to myself whether he didn't eat much because of something in his past. Aww, flashback CG.
When I was adopted, it was in name only. I was confined to a small room and not given much. I was ordered to do many different things. If I did them properly, I was given bread. I suppose I've associated those uncomfortable feelings with ingesting food of any kind. If I force myself to eat, my body won't always accept, often to the point of reversing it the way it came.
That's a nice way of saying I vomit. His tone was light, but the weight his words contained made my heart ache. That is kind of tragic and sad. Like, if I did things right, they let me eat. So I didn't get to eat a lot. And like now food is a trigger. That's just so sad. Food is a trigger for a lot of people. Noticing my silence, he smiled at me.
We've not discussed this topic much, and that's why I wanted to be honest with you. Fruits and vegetables are relatively easy to eat, and drinks too, as you've said.
How about warm milk?
I don't like it.
There was something so endearing about the way he responded.
There is something I should mention.
Is it going to be that conversation that you had with the other guys in the church? Because I don't feel like this is the place. Looks around at the cafe.
It wasn't very painful for me to eat food that you made. No other meals or snacks. Everything you put together for us made me happy.
Oh my god, I think I stopped breathing for a minute. That's like the most romantic thing you've ever said to us. He smiled serenely, his gaze gentle, and I felt my heart begin to ache again. We arrived here just as the beautiful sunset lent a warm tint to the sky and the sea. It reminded me of the morning that I walked with him along the shore. I still remembered it clearly. Thank you for today, Henry. Everything about it will be a wonderful memory for me, as I am having sex with Yang, because you refused to do it. Oh, dear God. Just like the morning we first walked here, he looked at me like I was the sun itself, but with a greater sense of calm than before. Doesn't that have to hurt too? You're like, the man is not into me, but he's looking at me like I'm the sun itself. That is the way someone who loves you looks at you. Like, doesn't that like set off radar in her head? Like, why is he looking at me like that when you don't love me? Stop it, it hurts. I wasn't going to say anything, but found myself unable to hold back. My feelings spilled out into words. Oh, girl. I still have feelings for you. He always worried about me, always protected me from danger, and always kept me company. We ran away together and lived in that house. I don't know why I fell in love or when. The details don't seem to have clear edges, but I want to do everything I can for you. To repay you for the happiness you've given me in staying by my side. Spacey. He spoke my name as though to stop me, but I didn't want to stop talking. I'm happy even if I'm just looking in your eyes. This is sad. But romantic, but sad. It's like, it's painful, not like pathetic sad. It's painful. It's like, I don't care. I just want to be with you. That's how much you love someone that has no interest. It's, God, that hurts. We do know that he loves us, but it's still got to hurt on her side, you know? Every touch you've given me that you give no one else makes me happy too. I looked up at his sad expression and smiled as warmly as I could. I understand that you don't see me in the same way that I see you. This would be the perfect time to kiss me, is all I'm saying. Goddamn glorious sunset on the beach. I don't want to be a nuisance to you, which is why I'll give up. Once this case was solved, Henry would likely disappear from my life forever. The thought of separation made my chest hurt. For now, I just want to stay by your side. I tried to smile, but I burst into tears. He's not going to kiss us now when we're crying. Oh my god. He let out a sigh of resignation and reached out his hand. Oh my god, are we getting a CG? Oh, stop it. Oh, stop. You can't just dry my tears like this, you son of a bitch. With his fingertips, he gently dried my tears. His gentle touch tickled a little, and I looked up at him with confusion. Look at how sad and beautiful he looks. He is like a foot taller than us, Jesus Christ. Why are you so tall? Or why am I so little? I admit I've been aware of your affections for me, but... I admit I've been aware of... I mean, I told you. This is not... I guess you knew before I admitted it. I thought you'd move on if we were separated. It would be better for you to forget me sooner rather than later. But... is it because it's too much of a burden to deal with me? I asked in a trembling voice, completely unable to meet his eye. Spacey, you're a person capable of great happiness. One day you will fall in love with a decent man. He replied in a sad voice that suggested he felt greatly pained. And then we're like, but why? Because he acts like he doesn't love us. I cannot make you happy. That's a load of crap. Just love me. That would make me happy. I mean, okay. To his point, his arm is like 82 feet long. Why does it look so awkward? But now that I noticed it. To his point, him saying that to us makes sense because she should be like, right, because you're not in love with me, so you can't make me happy because for me to be happy, you'd have to love me. You know what I mean? Like, I could just stay by your side for now, but it's not going to be enough. You know what I mean? At some point, it's going to stop being enough. Oh, you okay, bird? My god, my bird just like flapped. Smacked me in the face. Okay? You alright, buddy boo? You're fine. Alright. You know what I mean? But like... But you could make me happy by admitting that you love me. That's all I want. You know what I mean? So yes, you can make me happy. Again, in the overarching scheme of things for what we as the player know. But what she knows is, yeah, that's true because you're never going to love me. That's sad. It looks so awkward with her one eye, like, When I looked up, my gaze met his melancholy eyes, which reflected the setting sun. It's not true, because you've already made me happy. Just by being with me, you've made me the happiest I've ever been. I'm defiled, more so than you could ever imagine. I've committed too many sins. This is something you expect to come out of Orlok's mouth, being like the church boy he is. And it's like, Henry! Well, Orlok also didn't go to Pound Town. I'm just saying. But that's because he's innocent and sweet. Did we get to kiss Orlok? I'm pretty sure we've even kissed Orlok. Jesus. He spoke with such self-loathing that I kept shaking my head. Even if you told me everything about your past, I could never hate you because of it. No matter what or how many sins you committed, I still love you. Also, we could be like, you say I'm going to find a good man. You know that's probably going to be a member of the mafia. Have you seen the amount of sins they committed? They're not afraid to. I'm just saying, Henry. It's not like they're all innocent, sweet people and you're a horrible murderer. We fell in love with Yang, for God's sakes. I mean, that's a total other timeline, but still. You're the only person I've ever loved this way. It must be you, Henry. Despite his attempt, my tears spilling onto his hands couldn't be dried. I lied to you. Huh? His eyes were still sorrowful, but there was a strange heat in his voice.
And that night, when you approached me, I treated you as a child and doubted your feelings. I thought it was for your own good, even if it made you hate me. I thought that'd be the best way. I didn't want to defile you, too.
I was startled, but he continued to speak. I lied to you, acting like I had no interest in you, but goddamn, it was really hard not to throw you down on the desk. Is that what you're going to tell me? Because I want that. Okay, no, Bird, you cannot eat my headset. Stop it. Come here. Come back and sit where you were, okay? Come on, buddy. I'm sorry. You sit under my chin. You stay under my chin where you were, okay? I don't want you by my neck because you're going to chew my headset, and that's not nice. Okay, these cost too much money. You stay right here. I was startled, but he continued to speak.
You said you'd forgive me, even if you knew every sin I committed. You'd forgive me, as someone who's unforgivable. And do you still stand by that?
Yes, always. I answered without hesitation. My feelings gave me no reason to hesitate.
I was supposed to die in the flames with nothing but the hatred I held in my heart. Yet you gave up everything to save me. You gave me happiness in all the days we lived together. How many times I've wished, and knowing that I shouldn't. I don't want to let you go. I want us to be together.
Oh my God, are you finally admitting your feelings?
I love you, Spacey.
Stop it! He spoke the words I most wanted to hear. I love you too, Henry. Now kiss me, goddammit. It was like a dream. Oh shit. My surprise and joy tumbled over each other, keeping me from expressing a single word. I could only look up at Henry in my happy confusion, look back at me. Oh my God, are you gonna kiss me now? Oh God damn it, the CG went away. I was really hoping!
Let's go back.
As the sun set, he reached out his hand to me, continued in a quiet but determined tone.
There's something I need to tell you. There's something very important. I'll visit your room tonight.
There's something I need to tell you. It's very important. I'm coming for you. I mean, okay. We'll get back to that. Anonymous. I mean, that's the Phantom, but I just think it's funny when it's like, Anonymous. Was that what they called him? Like, it's just really weird. Wasn't this fantastically done, even for me? I was able to hide the seams rather cleanly. This will be just the thing to please Henry. What do you think? Is it cute? Is it not? Yes, I think it's cute. Huh? You think it's cute? Really? Even without a head? I'm afraid your taste is something I cannot understand. Are you finished with the Burlone Mafia? And need I tell you that there's an order to things? I'm busy with his sister right now. But yes, perhaps it's time I move on to my next trick. Truly, I had every intention of showing him what it was like to be killed because he killed me after all. However, I changed my mind after meeting him in the flesh. If I were to kill him, he would die. That would be the end. What a shame that would be. Let us change the scenario. For the sake of beautiful art, I'm willing to risk it all. Now we're back to Henry telling him that's an awkward way to come back to telling us he's going to visit my room tonight and have his way with me. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Well, I can hope.
And there's something I need to tell you. There's something very important. I will visit your room tonight.
I nodded and took his hand. Like, is she like, oh, hell yeah, I'll be ready. And he's like, I kind of expected you to have clothes on. Chapter 6? Ooh! The light of something. Lumiere is like light, right? I don't know what the rest of that was. The light of love? Not a moon. Is that Italian or French? I don't know what French is for love. I don't know. Anyway. At night, I was in my bedroom waiting for Henry. He was in the main room making phone calls and reading through letters that had arrived. That's definitely how I get prepared for sexy times, making phone calls, reading letters, doing some paperwork, filing my taxes. And then, yeah, I'm just kidding. I tried to calm down and get my thoughts sorted before he came over, but I found myself unable to. I mean, I wonder what he's going to tell me. This is going to be an awkward conversation because he's going to tell me about the key maiden thing, and then we're going to, like, do it like that. I mean, I need to tell you something. I'll come to your room tonight. I mean, that's sort of mixed signals. Are you coming to my room just to tell me stuff? Or like, are you coming to my room? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, you cannot come to a woman's room, Henry. Don't you know the message it sends? Women are wolves. Fucking hate that.
You can't go to a man's room by yourself. What does that say?
Like, dude, get your head out of your fucking ass. Like, what the just gonna throw that right back at him. You know, when he comes into our room, I'll be like, Henry, you shouldn't have walked into the wolves' den. Ah, here we go. As I tried to sift through clues from last night's meeting, there was a knock on the door. I stood up to open it. I don't know if we're gonna get to that, because, like, we're getting close to... we're not... Yeah... Please come in. Phrasing. It's like the start of a porno in here. After he stepped inside, I closed the door.
Sorry to keep you waiting. And this will be a complicated topic. Won't you have a seat?
Yes. When I sat down on the bed, Henry seemed a bit unnerved before walking over as well. Yeah, because he knows exactly what he's going to tell you. And when everyone was like, you need to go, do it, man.
May I sit beside you?
Yes, of course. Oh, dear God, this is so awkward and adorable. He smiled slightly and sat next to me. There was a chair across? You didn't... I'm just saying, Henry. He's going to tell us the story and be like,
all right, let's go. I wanted to talk to you about the Key Maiden's role.
Is this about what the church said?
Yes, and there's been a misunderstanding. You're still eligible to fulfill the role.
Really? But how is that determined? I left last night's meeting just as we began to touch on the subject. Henry answered my question without hesitation.
Through intimate relations, and that you've not been touched by anyone unworthy. And the Key Maiden's role depends on it.
And she's just like, blink, 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 blink. Just, excuse me?
The Key Maidens must unite with the Keepers of the Grave. Only by bonding with the heir to the Falzone bloodline can the relic be unsealed. In other words, in order for you to be disqualified...
Henry didn't say the rest aloud, but I understood what needed to be done. The phrasing on that is like, I understand what needs to be done. All right, Henry, we're going to have sex. I mean, that's kind of what everyone was getting at, but he hasn't told us that, like, oh, we had this conversation that you need to be disqualified. But we're, like, jumping there. I know what they meant by this is like, I understood what he means. Like, I understand what he's saying. I understood what needs to be done. What?
If you remain eligible, the church will not make any attempts on your life, but you'll be in danger of a different kind. The Merlone Mafia has decided that your continued eligibility is inconvenient to them.
Nah, they really just want you to pork the girl, because they know you're in love with her, and this is like the only way you're going to get over it. But he did tell us that he loves us, so... I mean... Okay. In all other times and purposes, his admitting he loves us would feel wonderful and beautiful, but now you're like, did you only tell me that you love me to make it, like, less awkward when we sleep together? Because you didn't have to throw I love you to get me to sleep with you. I kind of already wanted to, so, like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, women use sex to get love and men use love to get sex. That's like the whole, like, generalization, the stereotype. So, like, did you just throw that you love me out there to get laid? Because that's just rude. Maybe just accept that, like, I'm an independent woman and I will throw down if I want to. Because she's been trying to get in your pants for a while, Henry. I'm just saying. But the complications of that, like, the Barlone Mafia has decided that you need to not be the key maiden. So you told them that I have to get laid by Dante in order to unlock the thing. And then you all had a discussion about who gets to have sex with me? This is awkward. Yeah. And there is a silver lining to losing your eligibility in the church's eyes. As long as you're alive, the relic's protected, and they won't be able to take it, let alone unseal it.
And the decision's up to you. You're allowed to refuse.
But if I refuse...
And then you'll continue to be pursued until death. As will the Barlone Mafia.
And if I accept?
The Barlone Mafia will protect you. It's important to them that you remain alive, whether eligible or not.
And you're like, no, but I meant, like, if I accept, that means I have to sleep with someone that's not Dante. And, like, are you over? I mean, this is, like, the weird conversation. You're like, there is an underlying question here that neither one of us is coming to. I know what the question is. He knows what the question is, but neither one of us wants to broach it. Without factoring in my own emotions, this choice seemed to be clear in every way. It's a necessity, then, both for me as well as everyone else. That's the way to look at losing your virginity, I guess. You know, just a logical choice. Sure. I mean, it happens. Sometimes things you're like, all right, whatever. And then other times it's a very emotional choice. Personal time, for me, it was a very logical choice. I was like, yeah, all right, fine, whatever, let's just do this. There wasn't any emotion involved, which made it better, because I feel like if it had been, like, with my first boyfriend, right? Oh my god, I was so in love, then I think I would have had, like, such negative connotations about it after the fact. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, oh my god, you know, there was like, oh, wait for someone you truly care about. But, like, depending on where you are in your life, if you're younger, your emotions run stronger, it's so much more intense, and then you think you love this person, and then they rip your heart out because they're trash, and then you just have this negative thought that you had sex with someone that you truly love, but they're a bag of dicks, basically. You know what I mean? So, like, it was like, yeah, I mean, I don't care. So I don't have this, like, oh, it was so romantic and beautiful. No, just happened. Whatever. Nothing really pleasant about it. And, like, but I also don't have that negative memory of, like, it was my first boyfriend and I thought it was going to be magical and then he was a douche. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's like, whatever. It's also been 84 fucking years, so, like, whatever. But I just love how she's here and she's like, must be illogical. Emotion, logic, which way do I go with it? No, you could go either way. Seeing how flustered I was, he spoke softly as though to comfort me.
It's natural to be startled. I must also inform you that your decision will be conveyed to the others in the interest of full disclosure.
I like how Henry's like, also, everyone's gonna know. I mean, I appreciate you being concerned, Henry, but considering the fact that all of them gave me advice on how to seduce you and fully expected that I succeeded, there is no shame left here.
I understand that it's difficult to come to terms with a situation as significant as this.
But it's a decision that needs to be made soon, right? Knocks Henry down, climbs on top of him. Are we doing this or what? Like, don't make me read it, though. Right. Despite my confusion, I still tried to form my answer. Before I could, Henry spoke again.
May I tell you my own feelings about this?
Of course.
If I can speak frankly, should you decide to lose your eligibility...
I like how that's what we're calling our virginity, lose my eligibility. I mean, it's a much nicer way of phrasing it.
I do not want you to be taken by another man.
Oh god, look at his angry face when he says it, like, I'm here for the possessiveness of you. And we're like, wait, what? First you tell me you love me, and now you're telling me to give up my eligibility. I have to have sex with someone, but goddamn, you won't let anyone else have me. Let's do this!
If there was another person in your life, I'd do everything in my power to bring you two together. Your feelings are of the utmost importance, far more than my own. But if I'm not mistaken in this, I believe I know where your heart lies.
But I love the fact that he's like,
I won't let another man have you.
damn, Henry, stake your claim already, come on.
Henry smiled slightly and continued with sincerity. If you'll allow me to say this, it's not out of necessity that I'd accept your feelings. It's from a desire deeply rooted in my own heart, and the desire to protect you, and the desire to touch you as I've always wanted to.
I mean, there's something so ridiculously hot about this. The fact that he's like, the fact that I've always wanted to touch you and I've only just held your hand or maybe gently given you a kiss on the like brushed your tears away. Barely touched you, and he is just like, God damn, I want to touch you. Like, I don't... Stop it. Stop it. This really so far is like, as much as I love Dante every time he's on the screen, I'm like, God damn it, Dante, I love you so much. Like, I still love Henry. But like, they kind of put him off and he's kind of never around, so you kind of forget. You're like, yeah, there's Henry. I love Henry. I loved Henry, right? I think I loved it. And then you get here and you're like, no, we fucking love him. We did. Yeah, nope. I mean, listen. Even if his route sucked, I'd still love Henry just because looking at that cover art on the original Piofiore. God, I can't talk. I was like, I want that hot motherfucker in the mask. Who's that? Yeah. And I was just fucking into him from the beginning. I was like, you can't put him on the cover and tell me I can't do this, man. Stop it. So. And then he takes his mask off and he's beautiful. So, like, you know. But, you know, with the mask on. If you left the mask on, I'd be down. Anyway. He slowly reached out and touched my cheek, but stopped there as though to tell me that I could still refuse. Oh, we are not going to refuse. I feel my heart pounding in my chest, but there was something I needed to make sure of. But, you really sure? Since he'd been abused in the past. Though he never said the words, I sensed the truth from the details he kept hidden. You know my past. I can understand why you're worried about me. But he was abused, but was it... I mean, I could understand if the physical and emotional and mental abuse kind of triggered things, and I'm like, I'm dirty, I'm filthy, because they're always, like, telling him those things. But, like, this thought almost turns it into, like, did they, like, sexually abuse him, too? Because I don't remember that. Oh, God. I mean, he was definitely physically and probably most definitely emotionally, mentally abused. All of that, definitely, but... To be honest, it wasn't something that I wanted. And not then and not since. But Henry looked at me earnestly, and I could see a heat in his eyes that I didn't know existed. I mean, look at... And then he's saying not then and not since. So that makes it sound like it was... And I don't remember that. Like, that changes so... I kind of wish I remembered that, or it was a little more refreshed earlier, so I could have better understood. You know what I mean? Because it does make a difference. That makes it a little more, like, understandable of his avoid... I mean, his whole thing about avoiding touching you, it's like, it doesn't matter what your reasons are. That's totally valid. That's the way you are. We need to respect that. But it's a little more like, ooh, okay, let's be a little bit more careful with you if it's that kind of... If it's just like, they put it in your head that you were a dirty, filthy, vile person and you didn't deserve any... Like, that is like... That is wrong. You are not just because you've murdered people. You're not just because they told you you were... But, like, when it's sexual kind of abuse like that, it's like, you know, that's a whole different... It's different, and there's, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't kind of talk someone out of, like, being touch-averse because of the way they've been touched. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. No. I want you. Well, okay, we just snapped real fast, but I'm here for this. He continued to talk to me, giving me a moment to catch my breath.
There have been times when I couldn't hold back from touching you, but all in all, I think I did quite well. And the Key Maiden's eligibility is a status that helps ensure her protection. It wasn't something for me to take away. I gave myself that reason and many others.
I gently rested my hand on his, which still held my cheek. A smile broke across my face. You told me before, Henry, that you wanted to release me from my mission. I'm sorry, but there's just so much underlying that. Want to release me from my mission? Oh my god! Phrasing, I'm here for it.
You need to pay for my sins. Even so, I hope I can free you from this absurd mission.
And now you're getting the chance. You've always wanted to free me from my mission, and now you've gotten permission to free me from my mission, so...
And that is my hope.
I love the fact that she's like, you've always said you wanted to free me from my mission. Let's go, babe. You know what I mean? Like, girl, I'm here for this. So now, I want you to really free me. I mean, Jesus. Like, goddamn, these lines are kind of sexy. Please take me away from all of it. Oh, dear God. I'm, like, here for this. There is just, like, bravo. This is so good. He brought my hand to his lips and kissed it with reverence.
No matter how much my hands have sinned, my touch has never extinguished the light inside you. With every touch, it becomes even clearer. You are just as beautiful as always.
Oh my god, do we get a kiss, CG? He drew closer as he spoke his feelings and left a loving kiss on my forehead. No, I'm gonna need a kiss, CG, like, now. It needs to be very hot, too. I'm gonna need a sexy, sexy kiss, CG. Oh my god. He stroked my hair with his fingertips and gently pulled me into his arms. Oh dear God. I leaned against his chest as my heart raced. For a moment, we were both still. While I knew that he cared for me, I still felt the sense that he was hesitant to go on. Well, you know, he's like, I will not let another man touch you, but also still trying to get over some of those issues he has. So, like, you know, he's in a difficult place. It's okay. We'll give him a minute. I said as gently as I could. You don't have to push yourself. I know touching is uncomfortable for you.
No, it's not that exactly. Oh, but if I show you my skin, it might bother you.
Oh, because you were, like, physically abused and you're scarred? Oh, you poor thing. She is... Oh, okay. No, trust me. We are going to show you that it does not bother us.
My body's unclean, in a sense. I don't mean metaphorically. I have many scars. And because of the way I was treated at my adoptive home.
It's so sad! Oh!
I don't want you to be saddened by the sight, so...
Spacey, are we going to unbutton his shirt? Girl, please be doing this. As he pulled away, I kept my hand on his, softly so as not to startle him. I know you've suffered so much, Henry, but I don't want to look away from you. Oh my god. I love the fact that we're taking kind of a lead in this. You know what I mean? Like, all the other ones is like, oh, I don't know, and I'm a little awkward. And now we're like, no, I'll show you that. And, like, she's just like, I like this. We are, like, slightly more empowered in this than we... I mean, it is the 20s, and, like, again, she grew up as, like, a church mouse, so of course she was a little more... But she wasn't like, oh, no, but it definitely was the men took more of the lead. Okay, fine, we're an innocent little virginal wallflower. Sure, fine, get it. I get it. I don't have problems with it. But I like the fact that we've kind of flopped and we're, like, over here, and we're like, it's okay. I'll show you what it means to be loved. Like, we're taking a little bit slight more initiative here. I mean, it's a give and take. Like, there's back and forth here, but, like, we are definitely taking a little more of the push part here, and I'm kind of into it. Oh god, are we getting a CG? Wait for it. I slowly raised my hand over his shirt, watching carefully to see if he would back away. When he didn't, I rested it against his chest. Slowly, he allowed me to unbutton his shirt. Then he laid me down onto the bed. Oh, God. He slowly? That sounded like a push. Oh, dear God, stop it! So ridiculously fine right now. Oh, my God. Stop it. Love it when they push me into things, even if it's the bed. Henry, I wish you had your glasses on, because that's everything I need in my life. Push me up against walls, fish tanks, floors, doors, beds, anything. We held hands, interlacing our fingers. Oh, you can see a little bit of his scars on, the very bottom of his chest there. His wisteria eyes looked down at me gently. Neither of us said a word. I could hear only our breath. Just looking into his eyes made my heart pound so hard that I thought it would burst. Henry, I spoke his name in a shaking voice. I wanted to touch the scars that revealed themselves to me for the very first time. Love you. My whisper seemed to awaken in his eyes the emotions that he had kept hidden. Spacey. As my name spilled from his lips, I felt the passion he could no longer contain. This is gonna make me cry. I love it so much. Oh, there we go! Oh, we finally got a kiss, CG, goddammit! It is everything I dreamed of. Our lips finally came together. Feeling overwhelmed my senses and left me breathless. It's almost gonna leave me breathless. As his lips moved away, I felt myself take in a gasp of cool air. I'm not moaning. This time his kiss was deeper and sweeter. A passionate kiss that melted away every thought in my mind. This is kind of what happened in Dante's, the original, where we, spent the night. We were at the hotel and it was kissed, boned instantly. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone else kind of took some time. But Henry, it's I love you. Let's do this. Just all the walls came shattering down and I am so into it. We have waited so long for this. You can't tell me you love me. And then, no, we're going. We're doing this. When our lips separated again, I felt as though I were awakening from a dream. I couldn't remember what I was going to say. My mouth could no longer form the words. Oh, we just keep getting this CG with the kids. Oh, it just keeps going back. Before I could even collect my thoughts, Henry kissed me again. Things were changing. Oh, I bet. I was being taught things I never knew before. The new sensations swept me away. I ached for Henry to touch me more. Wait, Henry. When our lips parted again, I found myself breathing heavily. What is it? It's just that you're only kissing me. I could see the depth of his love in his eyes. So, I'm not sure if... I want more. Thank God you said it. I was thinking it. I could feel his hidden emotions surface. Everything that he didn't say in words. He ran a hand over the thin fabric that clung to me. I can't read anymore. I'm so into this. I felt the heat of my own body overpowering his, and although his touches were soft, they left me almost out of my mind. I mean, it's been so long, and you've wanted this man for so, Jesus Christ! Wait. I held him desperately, trying to catch my breath and slow my wildly erratic heartbeat. Please, you want me to stop? He asked me in the sweetest voice I had ever heard from him. I want to do more. He pressed his lips against me again and again as he spoke. Fingers, my ears, my neck. It tickles. Tell me. If it's what you want, I'll give it to you. Don't hold back from me. If it's what you want, I'll give it to you? God damn it, Henry! You can't say that shit to me right now! His whisper made me close my eyes involuntarily. The euphoria I felt took over my whole body with every new touch. Henry, what is it? I was afraid to look into his eyes. I knew he'd be able to see exactly how I felt, how lost in ecstasy I was. Please, what more?
bad girl.
God damn, it's kind of sexy when you call me a bad girl. Stop it. The same words he spoke to me before sounded impossibly sweet tonight.
Fine. I'll give you plenty. I want to drive you mad. Expose you.
Jesus fucking Christ. Henry, you can't! You can't come out of nowhere with this! This is all the shit that's been pent up and you just, since we have been both been, but you can't come at me with these words! I might actually die! Guys, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Shit. Oh my God. I can't breathe. His hands finally slid under my clothes and ran over my bare skin. Oh dear God. His low whispers in my ear were the only thing keeping me attached to this world.
Now listen to me, Spacey. I'm going to do something terrible to you.
But I bet it's gonna feel so goddamn amazing. Huh?
In order to fulfill your wishes, I have to hurt you. So, I will accept it if you never forgive me.
You say it's gonna, I mean, okay, physically, maybe, just a little bit. But like, I think we'll be fine. Before I could ask what he meant, he stole my lips again. His kiss was gentle, as if he were at my service. I mean, kindly, lovingly. So I revealed myself to him completely. And he to me. Oh my God! Oh my God! How dare you, game? Jesus, I need a cold shower. All right, I love Henry, and thank God I can imagine, like, so I wonder what it's like. Okay, so if anybody was like, Henry's not my favorite love interest, how did you feel about this? Was it like, oh, okay, or were you like, Jesus, how dare you? You know what I mean? Because I loved Henry in the first game. I still love him, and like this route has been so good, and I love that goddamn tension. It's like, damn it, just kiss me already. You know what I mean? And like in all the other routes, like it comes at a natural point, but in this one, it's like we ran away together and nothing happened, and then we're here and nothing, and you're like, God damn it! There's like this romantic and sexual tension, and it's like I'm here for that. I kind of dig it, you know. So like, I just I don't like it when games kiss, like CG kiss block me. That makes me mad. But like this, the whole game, this whole, how dare you with this route? And then this was just so ridiculously sexy. Stop it! And I don't know if it's because like the whole tension thing, like damn it, how dare you? And I'm into that, or like it's because Henry and I'm into Henry, or just like it was just really that hot on its own. So like curious if you were like Henry's fine, but you weren't really into Henry. Was this as hot? Were you like Jesus Christ, you can't do this to me? I mean, I don't think you can do this to me, game, and I'm into Henry, but I can't even imagine if you're not into Henry and then be like, you can't do this to me because I'm totally into this. Like, but Jesus. Good God. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna need to go take a cold shower. This is like the perfect place to leave this part. So, hey, we're no longer the key maiden. Hey, Bird, stop trying to attack my hand. You need to simmer down, buddy. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Go get a drink. Go take a cold shower. Whatever. I can't, with my brain can't process anything anymore, which I'm sure neither can hers, so fair. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.